there with you. So thank you very, very much for just watching Steel Toe today. We appreciate you in any way you are one. We appreciate you being a fan. And I can't tell you how much it means to me that you're here today to yell into a void. I appreciate it, especially since the whole world's been dunking on the one guy who thinks I'm the most terrible guy in the world, who turns out to be a bigger piece of shit than I am. Oh boy, is that P-Melt just getting dragged. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. I think the minute he started going, I could call a lawyer and I could be, the minute the guy who's made nothing but episodes harassing my family and I, the second that he said, I could go to a lawyer for harassment, everybody just turned on him. And they also went, we've been looking into you. You make a lot of really jokes sexually about kids. It's gross, dude. You're human garbage. I think what happened was, and I forgive all of you, you let your hatred of me blind you. And I told you this a year and a half, 2 years ago. I told you this. I know you couldn't hear it at the time. I feel like I'm your father who tried to tell you something and you didn't listen. And then you found out the hard way that I was right. Believe me, I've been there before. And I think you're finding it out now that just because you hate my guts doesn't mean this other guy's good. In fact, this other guy, there's a reason he's been doing this for 20 years. And the only way he could catch on is by attaching himself to me. And I'm honored. I'm glad I could save his career. But I can't save him. I've said this for 2 years now, guys. I can't save him from himself. I'm sorry if this makes you hate me more. Then your delusion is complete. And again, I'm sorry, but I can't save Patrick Melton from himself. I can save his career. I can give him an opportunity. And I've done that. And again, you're welcome. But I can't save him from himself. He can't help himself. This is who he will always be. I've made him a better person. But I can't ultimately save him. Because he's always going to be the human garbage that he's always been. So I wish you guys luck in figuring out your shit. I know it's been a tough time for you. I don't know what else to tell you. Johnny is not here today. Johnny did send me a text yesterday before the evening show. He's having a tough time right now. He's got some family stuff going on, and then there is this broad, man. And like, he's not on the show, and he's not saying this, so I'll say it. Bananas. Crazy. I don't remember her name. I remember when I saw her. Like, I don't, if I've got something, when it comes to other people's girlfriends, I operate on, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all to the person. But when I met her, she was a walking red flag. When I met her, you know how you can just look in someone's eyes and crazy? But I was happy for my buddy. I was glad he had found somebody. And I'm like, maybe they make it work. It's fine. None of us are normal. So maybe this is all right. But she, I hate to say it. I'm sorry to say it. But I end up being right more often than not. Anyone who's like way too into weed usually ends up being a weirdo. Anyone who like talks about how much they like weed. First of all, it's obnoxious. You're in your 40s. Stop it. Even Snoop Dogg doesn't really talk about it anymore. You're not 17. It's not high school. We're not under the bleachers. So that plus it's in the eyes, man. You can see the red flags in the eyeballs, and she had crazy eyes. She was nice enough. She was fine. But like the first time Johnny told me, oh yeah, she's saying this. And like anyone who plays that game of like telling you it's over just so you'll call them and you'll talk to them, that's not worth saving. You got to let that go. That's a runaway, right away type of thing. So he hangs on to her. She goes back home. Johnny's talking about girls and shit on his podcast in a way that is just him being entertaining. And she gets insecure and she dumps all that on him. And she goes, oh, well, then I guess it's a wrap or whatever she said, or we're pulling the plug. And Johnny did the right thing. She said, we're pulling the plug. Johnny's like, all right, I guess we're done then. All right, cool. And then she starts calling and calling and calling and calling. And he stops answering. And she keeps calling and calling and calling and calling. So he blocks her phone number. Then from a restricted number, calling. He said in total 300 phone calls. 300 phone calls. And then he asks me, should I get the cops involved? I'm like, I don't know. I'm usually on the her end of it. No. I said, no. I said, I don't know. I don't know how you get it to stop. 300 times is a lot. It wouldn't hurt to maybe report this and see what they can do. But he's having a tough time with all this, and he needed a day today. I'm sure he can tell you the rest of the story tomorrow on the show. He'll be back then. I don't know if he's doing his show today or not, but Johnny's just having Johnny's having a tough one. As far as my life goes and the stuff I've got going on, as you know, I can't say much. Well, that's not true. I can say a lot. I choose not to. I think there's a way to go about these things, and I am enjoying the process, enjoying the way it's working out. I don't understand. It makes me understand less the strategy of going on streams and discussing these things. But late Friday / yesterday, I got some very, very good news. And I'm waiting patiently today and tomorrow. I'm waiting patiently this week for some very interesting news. Put it that way. And I saw some people talking about, I haven't talked about it, but I've seen a lot of people on the internet talking about it, and a lot of their theories about it. And I'm going to move on. I'm going to pivot from this very quickly because I don't want to say too much. A lot of their theories about it may come true very soon. And I'm trying to distract myself in a good way because, again, this is not up to me. They call it representation for a reason. That person is better at this than you. So you let all of your stuff go through that person. Let them handle it. That's what you pay him for. But I'm very, very optimistic, but cautiously, because this is a process. I want to let it play out, and I'm trying not to get too excited about possibly exciting things. That's it. Let's call it for today. We're done. We're going to move on.